Hey Bernat, how's your evening going?
Hey, so far so good.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I know, going back, I think our initial kind of interactions, I think, was through like calculation groups and some other stuff, like on Twitter and some other chats where
Yeah,
between Kane Schneider, I think you, Jeff
yep,
Weir, and a few others. Like
yep,
I feel like there's this like the three of you are kind of a very specific group of very passionate people around a lot of like both tabular editor and calc group
yeah,
stuff. But like I've definitely,
yeah, yeah.
I think between the two of them, there's been streams crossed of interesting posts and stuff that even you've done on some of those. So I'm glad to finally have you on for some.
Mm-hmm.
I think some more technical conversations and automations and other like advanced modeling when it comes to Power BI.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, it was in your show when I listened to the talk for Ken Snyder. I was like, oh my God. I mean, all this can be done with calculation groups. It was like, whoa. Then I just dived into.
Yep.
And from there also, it was Johnny Winter is another guy who made a very
Ah,
nice
yeah.
script and
Yep.
then opened the jar of scripts and calculation groups to me. And I was like, whoa. And then from there, I didn't look back.
Exactly. Yeah, Johnny, our Grayskull Analytics for people tuning in.
Indeed.
If you've seen him on LinkedIn and Twitter, all people who are
Mhm.
very passionate and like me, very geeky about a lot of the fun like behind the scenes stuff that you can do, both with just advanced modeling, but again, like automation's a big thing. Anytime at the end of the day, when as a developer, if I can do something faster, that saves me time
Yeah.
and saves my clients time. So I'm always appreciative of that. Before we get started on like the
Hmm.
actual topic for the day, do you want to give a little background about yourself and tell it to the
Yeah.
audience?
Okay. So my name is Bernat. I live in Barcelona and I'm a partner at Esbrina. And well, I'm from training, I'm an engineer, but I really like data. And from there, I've been a long time in Excel and especially macros and Excel. And that's why when I started working with Power BI and I learned there was something like C sharp scripts, I said, oh, I would like to reach a little bit of what I had in Excel because there I could do pretty much anything I thought I would be possible. So yeah, that's something I've been working on. Still not at the same level, but yeah, doing my things.
Excellent, thank you. And I know I mentioned the word a couple of times, but today I think that it's going to be some interesting dives into both the modeling environment, the tabular editor environment, and also talking about some things we can even do in Visual Studio as well. Correct?
Yeah, this is a bit weird, yeah, because we are using a third-party tool to modify a Microsoft
Yep.
thing, and then we'll use a Microsoft thing to help this third-party tool. So it's kind of closing the circle.
Power
I
BI to
think it's kind of
third-party
good.
tool to a
Yeah,
Microsoft tool, or to help the third-party tool back into it. Yeah, there's a few
something
few
like that.
steps
Yeah,
removed, but it's all officially supported stuff, which for the most part, which is good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no weird hacking going on.
I do see you have your blog up, so if you want to talk about that a little bit, I'm happy to flip over to this screen and show that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we like a lighter thing here. I was very curious if you could build like a repository functions.
Hmm.
And it is possible, but today is not so easy. It's something on the roadmap for Tabular Editor, and it was not so crucial for me. I was just very curious if it was possible or not. So I haven't worked much on that since I did that blog post, but we'll do some part of it, which already brings a lot of value to any script you have to write, which is moving development into Visual Studio. And yeah, I mean, with you, we can do that. Maybe then later we'll refer to other blog posts, which will have some interesting scripts that we can see in more detail.
Sure, absolutely.
So the idea is, if you're familiar with, well, we have our Power BI, and then from Power BI you can jump into the Tabular Editor. We can use for today. There's nothing exclusive for Tabular Editor 3, so Tabular Editor 2 is just fine. So here I have it already open. And normally when you enter, you see something like this, but you know you have this tab of advanced scripting. So here in advanced scripting, you can write the C sharp code. And here we'll have already like some references to this, to a class that Daniel Oettinger built that allows you to modify the tabular object model more easily than just the tools that Microsoft provides. So it's something called a thumb wrapper. Yeah, but developing code here today is very tough. Yeah, there is no help. I think if you write model, there is something, but that's all of it. So you don't get anything else. I mean, when you start writing one of them, you don't know the parameters, and I don't know anything else. It doesn't really help you out much. So when I wrote my first scripts, it was a lot of Googling and then trial and error and then asking Daniel and then going back to Googling. And it took a lot of pain. And I think Daniel Oettinger might remember me in his forum. But anyway, today we'll do a way to do these things easier. This is completely, thanks to Daniel and Xavi, which it's another guy here at Esbrina. And that he knows a lot of C#, and Daniel knows a lot about the tabular object model and tabular editor. So bringing the two together, I managed to get the help I needed from both. So let's do it. First, we'll need Visual Studio that has a community edition, which is free, and it's just fine. Here, wait, in the blog post, in the beginning, I talk a little bit of what you need to install. You'll need something called .NET framework. Yeah. So, and there is a few ways you can get it involved. I'm not really sure. I'm not really a technical person to that level. But anyway, if you install also the .NET Desktop Development Pack, you'll certainly get it. Yeah. So anyway, I already have this. So I'll just say I want to create a new project. Yeah, this is just, we'll create, it's not really going to develop there. It's just we'll create something in which we can type and then copy it back to Tabular Editor. Yeah. So here, we need to, if you will search for C#, we should be seeing this class library.net framework. If you don't see it, you didn't install the right thing. Okay. And then we say next, and here you can give it a name. And here, I don't know, the framework, the latest one is fine. So you just click create, and we'll create it for you. Okay, so you get something like this. Now, this is just inside Visual Studio, doesn't know anything about Tabular Editor, so we need to bring the two together. To do that, we'll need to add a couple of references. Yeah, and here, we need to go to references, add reference. This is the unfriendly part. It gets better. Yeah? So here I already have them, but let's not cheat. Clear references. So here you need to go to browse and then browse again. And now first we'll go to app data. Okay, but we are in roaming. No, we want to go to local, and then we search for Tabular Editor, which should be down here. Where is it? Tabular Editor, the regular one. And we select the thumb wrapper 14 DLL. Okay, that's one, but we need another one. So we go for browse. Now we need to find the .exe file, which is not in this folder, but in the regular install folder. So we'll have to go back to the C, where is it? Here. And then it's program files 86 or whatever language. And then you search down to Tabular Editor. And then you select Tabular Editor.exe. Okay, we have them both, they're selected. Okay, very good. But now we need to reference those references, C# things. I don't know why we need to do that, but we'll do it. Then you'll say using, and then you go Tabular Editor dot thumb wrapper. That's one. Sorry. And then you go another one using Tabular Editor dot scripting. Okay, these two. And now, what what I really want is that when I type like model, then I get all these beautiful IntelliSense, yeah? But this model here, it doesn't exist yet. So we need to create something that behaves like it. Yeah? And then what we'll go is inside the class, and we'll create a variable of the type model. Yeah? So in C#, you first type, you first write the type and then the name of the variable, which normally should be lowercase. But then we would have to do stuff. So here we'll break the rules and we'll use the uppercase. And then the other thing that has like a beautiful IntelliSense that we want to use is the word selected. Yeah, because then we can access the selected measures, tables, and so on. And to do that, the code is not so easy to remember. So, but it's not that tough either. So here it is. Not this one, sorry.
I like that the model's named after me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no. There it is. Yeah, UI tree selection. This is the type, and this is the word, so to say. Yeah? Okay, and now that we have this, then we can start a function. Yeah, so we'll just go like public void test, whatever. Yeah, it will open, and here we can start typing our code. Yeah. So now if I then say, okay, normally we want to do something with selected. And here you see I get measures, or I don't know if I go tables, table permissions, calculate the table columns, we have all the things. If I start with model dot, I get all the beautiful things that I want. Yeah, at relationship, I mean, there's all the things. And if I go, I don't know, tables, and then I don't know, I go page, and here I can do all the things to the table. And if I say add measure, for instance, I get all the details also for the parameters. So what are the default value, and I have to express all of them. Plus, we are in a very professional IDE. So I mean, it has all the sorts of helpers out there. If you start typing, I don't know, what is it, like interact? I don't know. I mean, sometimes you start writing something that you do, oh, you need a reference for that. So you just like go control dot, it's like boom, and it adds it you automatically. Yep. And also, I don't know, you can add like null checks and stuff like that just with some right clicks and stuff, which is built into Visual Studio. So beyond what we just did, I mean, it's just built in. And I mean, Tabular Editor is about to bring, well, I don't know how soon or far, I have no inside information, but it's in the roadmap to bring IntelliSense there. But I don't know. I think it's good also to know this way because I think Visual Studio is probably a very powerful development. So if you want to do something serious in C# scripting, having this option probably will give you some extras that might not be from day one built in into Tabular Editor. Yeah. So once you have this, you can do all crazy things. So the first thing when I had this, like, oh, maybe I could do something with a relationship, which is something that you will not find code snippets because it's too niche, right? But they are there. So model dot relationships, you go there, and then you can get I don't know, yeah, for
many things.
Reach, yeah. And you go, I don't know how you have to do like relationship, or and then you can just start doing things like, yeah, you see, I mean, this should be lowercase, sorry, but you get all the properties of the relationship, which is totally crazy. So you can go to the annotations, you can go to all sorts of things, and also know if it's is removed, is active, or I don't know. Type, and if you go to type, equals, no, where is it? Well, now we'll check one script that I have in which I go through well, the one that I did for the referential integrity, which I think it's nice to see the potential, because without IntelliSense, I would not be able to write this thing. So what we'll try to do is to get some measures that will allow us to build easily tables telling us if there are items which are not present, items on our fact tables which are not present in our dimension tables, yeah, in which we'll create a incomplete relationship in which we get those blank things. So let's do it. Here we'll go, is this it? No, not this one. We'll open another one, GitHub. Where is it? Referential integrity check measures. Here I did, I was doing the one with the repository, but this is just runs everywhere. And then here, normally in the beginning, I create all the parameters and just a couple names. In this one, there's not much personalization because it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it's just very technical measures which don't need to be even visible in the object model. But here we just get where I want to store everything, and just select the table, and then from the selected tables first, then this will be stored in a variable. And here, there's for each R in model relationships. Oh, there is a check. Yeah. Oh, here. R dot cardinality equals relationship cardinality n1. I mean, this is no way I could have found that anywhere in the internet, but I managed to find that just with playing around in IntelliSense. So if cardinality is from cardinality is one and to cardinality is many, it's one to many. And the other one is many to one if it's the other way around. And then I just use like I have a couple variables like many column and one column, and then depending on the case, I store that column in from one side or the other side, yeah, because you can get to the columns of the relationship and so on. If it's many to one, and then from there I start creating measures. Yeah, and also it's very good once you have a column, you can just, this I didn't know in the beginning. So DAX object full name, this is very nice because it puts the name with the table name, you know, the square brackets and the name of the column. At the beginning, I would go just one variable with the name of the table, one with the name of the column, then build the whole thing myself. Much easier to do this way. I'm still not used to that. I mean, there is a way also to, I don't know, I think you put like at mark and then column, and then it's a bit easier to build strings. I'm still not used to it. I just go like old school. One thing that also important, if you want quotes inside your string, then you have to escape them with a backslash. Those little things. But anyway, and then we can just run it and see how it goes. I mean, the script is available. There's a link to GitHub, and also sent it to the Power BI.tips repository. I'm not sure if it's already made it there or not, but it's somewhere there. And we can just give it a try.
Excellent.
So we have to select the desired table, which I already have here, an empty table, just with a dummy column. And that's it. And we run it. Oh, come on. Where is it? Why? Oh, sorry. I think I had this selected. Yeah, I had the selected text. I'm sorry. So it just executed that part of text, and that's why it didn't work. But now look at this. I have all this just created for me. This is a very small model, so I only have like this table. So there's not many checks to do, but you have a large model who was just been given to you, and you first want to know what is in there. You can just run this and then discover all the dirty things. It's like, okay, this is missing, this is missing, this is missing, and then you have all this behind you. So
and you might have mentioned it, but for a lot of these, the because I know the Tabular Editor does have a bit of like some repositories for like modeling practices and stuff. How many of these have you submitted, like to kind of be downloadable from other people?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least 5 or 6. I don't know. I made like a special folder, like one-click macros, because I don't know. I liked when Patrick showed my first script, said like one click, and I was like, okay, I like this because
Yep.
yeah, I like to have a script, and then you can store it as a macro, and then I like that. Then there's like some pop-ups. We'll see one in a second, in which it asks
Beautiful.
you to like personalization for like the name of the group and stuff like this. So yeah, I save this back to the model, and now here in the data quality, I have all these measures. So the thing is quite easy. I mean, you just put the table, and then you would go for sales. You go to the fact table, and then you use the key inside. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then you go to the dimension, and then you use the other side, and you use it in the visual filter, and then okay, I want to see just the blanks. Is blank filter. These are the ones that are being problematic.
Yep.
But the good thing is that the measures will count this for you. Yeah. So first, you can put a title, because once you have a few tables, you no longer know what which one means.
Mm-hmm.
So here I go to title, I'll turn it on, and then I go to dynamic, and here you just type like product. Okay, product data quality titles. Yeah, this is the one I need. Yeah, say here. So this is a bit small, but 10 product key not mapped in sales. Yeah. Oh, no, there's a global thing here. I can just turn on. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't include the title for some reason. Too bad. Where's it? Title 20. This is 20. This is 20. Okay, whatever. Anyway, and then and let's do the other one as well. We have well, I mean, this is for the detail, but actually you already have a couple measures that are very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
One is show me the data problems I have. Yeah. So here are all the data problems you have. If you have no data problems, this doesn't show anything. So you have 3 store keys and 10 product keys.
Well, the nice thing too is that
And you get
it's a concatenation, right? So like I mean, in a
yeah,
much larger model, like sure, you can kind of do the manual process like you kind of just showed us where yeah, you can look for the
yeah.
is blank, you know, because there's obviously those implicit rows get added when there is the I forget the term.
Mm-hmm.
What's the official word for when there is the relationship types that aren't 100% match? I should know this, but it's one of those that, like nobody ever brings it up in actual
I
conversation.
don't know. It's like incomplete relationship. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's
Somebody
a
in the chat might
referential
drop it in there,
interactive
but
problem.
yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
have to do it manually. You have to go through each table and basically like, you know,
yeah,
you drag a column from the fact table and a dimension table and you got to check one at a time. So just the fact that
yeah,
this can spit out, like if you have
yeah. So you
100,
get these two.
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and then you can just go and see the detail. Like first you get this, like oh, there are problems. Yeah. Then you look at this, like okay, these are the problems. And then you can go into the detail. Okay, oh, these are the problems. So you can go and start fixing things. Yeah.
So I have a
And
question
then
of just
yes.
on some of this stuff because somebody's curious about its tie-ins with best practice analyzers. So would this be a good example of adding like
Yeah,
new rules to BPA? And he has one follow-up that I'll throw up as well because for
I
him
think there
he
is
has well
yeah.
I'll just finish this
Mhm.
other thing. So he has some specific BPA rules that he needs to implement. So that those are kind of his questions.
Oh, I see. I see that Michael Kovaski has an article on how to check relationships and so on.
Hmm.
But the thing is that you have to run that thing outside Power BI,
Yep.
and then it says, okay, this relationship is problematic. If you do this, this is much better, in my opinion, because you get this check automatically after each refresh.
Yep.
Because normally you'll do that if you have Excel maintained tables. If it all comes from a data warehouse, you should not have this problem. Yeah?
No,
But
out of curiosity, I think maybe to follow up on what
hmm,
he might have been trying to go for because
hmm.
the best practice analyzer does give you that printout of everything. It is based off of the fact that this creates measures and a few other things in your model. Is it possible to integrate this logic into the actual BPA in Tabular Editor and have it part of that, or is this something that you can use in parallel with it, but it kind of does need to separately create the measures and everything to give you the results that you need?
Yeah, I mean, this is something you built into your model. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it lives
exactly.
with
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for VPA, then after each refresh, you should go into VPA. That's not very convenient, is it?
Okay.
Because
Fair.
now you will see a way in which we'll build a button that will
Hmm.
turn red
Ah. Okay.
when this is different than 0. So you can hide this shit and put the button on the main important sheet, and then you say, okay, when this is red, then you have a problem. The only way
Gotcha.
that problems get solved if it is visible, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
after
So I
each
think
refresh,
good
you can
points.
have this problem. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Excellent.
So the other one is 3 storm keys. So I'll just go very quickly. Let me copy this so I don't have to change the font size again. And then I'll go to the store key, and then this goes, and then the store is here. Store key is blank. No, it's not working. The title, store key. No, there is something wrong. Apply filter. Yeah. Okay. And then the title. Where is it? Title. Store. There it is. Okay, these are the 3 store keys missing, right? Mm-hmm. Which is very good. But now I want a way to, but I don't want to include this as a visible sheet in my report. I want to hide it a little bit. And now we'll run another script, which I wrote before doing the IntelliSense thing, but still, I think it's useful as well, which is also, this one I shamelessly took the idea from Guy in a Cube, and I told them. So where is it? There's the Data Problems button. No, Patrick put a like on LinkedIn. I was like so happy. And then this one is very easy. So select the measure that counts the number of data problems. Yeah. So our number, no, it's a total and map items. Yeah. This only has a number. This is the important part. So you select this, and then you click. Yeah. You see both macros didn't need any configuration of the code, mm-hmm. So you can store both as a quick actions as well. Yeah. So but here I have the script. I just run it here.
Speaking of quick actions, it's like just I'll say just a quick like grievance is I really miss the quick access toolbar in Power BI that they got rid of. We used to have an option, to depend on the top ribbon in Power BI desktop, and about a year ago they got rid of that. That was one of those. Man, I had like a couple of like quick buttons up there that I really like to use. Why'd you get rid of this? You took away my cheese.
Yeah, well, things happen,
Yep.
Yeah, here it says, okay, this script actually will create a measure table for you. So you will need the unsupported actions enabled. But for creating tables, it's really not problematic because even Bravo tool, external tool, is doing it. So I think it's very safe if you are only doing this. Yeah. Don't go.
Yep, exactly.
So navigation. Okay, and then it asks you for like some names. You can change it. And here's like a pattern that will be shown in the bottom. There are data problems. Okay, very good. And then the button background and navigation. It asks you for all the names of the measures and all the things. Yeah. So we get this table, which is hidden by default. And here you have the colors, so it doesn't show. Anyway, much easier if I show you how this works. So, because it's a refresh, it's a calculate table. Here, this would be the page we call data problems, right? Data problems. And we would have like a main page for our report. And here we would build a button. Yeah. So you just go and to put the blank button. And, oh wait, I think, yeah, I hope we get can we get the navigation, page navigation? Oh yeah,
I'm right there with you with the they move my cheese scenario. Buttons are in different locations. Yeah.
Totally, yeah, right. So shame that this is so Okay, rotation style. No, I mean, first, okay, this is what the button will do is move, go there, right? And we have navigation. Wait a minute. Maybe we should talk first here. There's a measure to say, okay, are there any problems? Yes or no. Yeah, total unmapped items. Is this bigger than 0 or no? And then for button navigation, this is very easy. So if there are problems, yeah, this is true, then we'll go to the data problems sheet. Otherwise, nothing. Yeah, and then for the button background as well, again, if there are data problems, then use the code of the bat measure. Otherwise, use the transparent measure. And then, well, you have to return it as a string. And here for bat, I think I have like, this is like a reddish color.
Yep.
And the transparent, I use the actual transparent color. And then the button text, you see what I do if there are problems, I substitute here in this string, this part with the number of problems detected, okay? But this has been built around the measure that I said is informing the number of data problems, right? So there are a few things that, yeah, you cannot just copy paste things. So that's it. And now we just need to build the button because this cannot be scripted as of today. So for page navigation, now we go here, and I think we search for navigation. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, and then general, I guess. Where do you put the text properties? No, position, depends on title. No. Where's the text? Button. Rotation, action. I have no idea. Where?
Which one are you looking for?
Is this it? Just the text of the button.
Oh yeah, it is the. Scroll up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just search for text. I worst case when I can't find something.
Okay.
Yeah. And it should be text somewhere in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got text. Okay, it's in the style.
Oh. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Text, button text, and then for the background, I'll do the same thing. Background. Yeah, I want background, which is dynamic as well, and I want a field value, and here I'll search for background as well. Okay, so now you see, maybe the font should be, where is it? Go back to the text. Where is it? Font color, we'll put some white thing, and maybe a bit bigger. And so this would be our button, right? There are 13 data problems. And once I click here, control click now, I jump into this, yeah? And here I would put a back button, right? Back. Okay, so I go back to where I came from. And now to show you that this is actually working, I think we have to turn off style, where is the outline? Border, no border. Okay, so now to show that this is working, here in total unmapped items, we'll just pretend that there are none, yeah? If I do this, the button disappears. And not only that, if I control click here, I don't go anywhere. So it's quite convenient. Once you get a problem, it shows up and it's working to bring you to the page in which you have all the detail, the things that you have to fix. So this is a thing. And other than that,
the quote guy in a cube. This is bananas.
Yeah.
And so just going back to your button, like so one of the ideas that this gives me is kind of an maybe you're going to this, but it's almost an alert, because if you have a if you have a page on here where you actually are basically returning like a 0 or a 1, you can either use goals or alerts on dashboards, where you could actually create a goal where basically, like, as the admin, you get an alert whenever a value goes above a range if something's flagged in your model. So you know, I would think there's ways to not only have it visible on your page, but also get an email notification when some condition in your model is met, which I think can be very important. Is like, you know, there's many times where the model is refreshing, but data quality has changed, and you wanna be able to go
Yeah.
and see that immediately. And sometimes maybe you don't even want the end user necessarily to know, like depending
Hmm.
on your
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
But you just want a ping to be like, oh, by the way, like somebody put in, a data
Hmm.
entry where they don't have a associated,
Yeah.
client
Yeah.
ID
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So
Totally.
I like this a lot.
Actually, yeah, I recommend very strongly the session that Razor Rat had with you as well in the error
Mm,
capture
yeah.
thing. That is great because then you can combine them. I mean, you just need a variable, a measure that has the total of problems. It does not need to be only mapping problems. You can have
Yep.
all the duplicates yeah, you just put them all together. And then maybe, okay, maybe the data problems measure, then you'll have to manually edit. So to say exactly what each of the things mean, but you can
Exactly.
extend that to cover any sort of data problems that you want. Okay, but yeah, this is me. So we need to do some calculation, right? So here, the first I'll run now is the one from Johnny Winter, which is, but I'll show you now. I already have it as a quick action, but wait. For those looking, if you go back to my block, here I made just one entry for myself, basically, which is one-click calculation group for your tool belt. So you go here, and then you'll find the reference to the video from Johnny Winter and also the GitHub, from
Hmm.
where you can go and grab the code, which is what I did. And here you just go and copy. I made a small contribution to make this pop-up thing. And so here, what we'll do is for sales, here I have just the 4 measures that I would like to use and create a dynamic measure calculation group. So I can go here and paste the new one. Yeah, you see. And then, and here I would be able to store that as a quick action, a custom action here. But I already did. So here in custom actions, dynamic measure. Yeah.
Hmm.
And this is the name of the calculation group. And this is the name of the column of the calculation group. I always use the same. And here I'll just call this dummy. I think it's a bit shorter. And this is some other measures that Johnny added to the script. And then, yeah, for dynamic measures, we get the beautiful calculation group, which is already very good because it has a protection for, that which measures are you affecting. So it will only work on this dummy one. So it will not replace other measures, very convenient. And it has both oh, that's not good. I forgot to set up proper format strings. So when it created the calculation group, didn't get the format strings there, but it's okay. I can go into I don't know, the sales, I don't know, format string. I could say general, so like currency. Okay, and I can copy this into the format string. Yeah, so if you find this and I'm applying this calculation item, I want this to be added and so on. Yeah. I can fix this. And also for the margin. And for the margin percent, we'll just use the regular percent one. Okay, so we can save back. And here we'll have to refresh because we're creating a calculation group. And here we have a dynamic measure. So we'll put like this, and then our dummy measure into values. And now we need to apply some format string. Some calculation item. We can even do something like this. Yeah. Okay, and we need to do this much larger. Okay, very good. Yeah, so we have this. Now the other, and now we can see the other calculation, the other script that I have in that blog post is from from the TimeIntelligence. This is very, very handy because almost always you need to TimeIntelligence. And the good thing is that this calculation group follows the definitions specified in daxparents.com. So they are fairly good. So you have quite a few caveats that are solved already using those expressions. Yeah, like, because if you just go and to say calculate, measure, same period last year, what happens is that it will create you a value for next year, even though we're in the future, right? So in the future, you'll have this last year value, which doesn't make any sense. So
Yep.
with these expressions, you'll just get only last year value for, for when it makes sense, basically.
Perfect.
So here again, you go just into, oh, I don't see it here. Yeah, this is already the one published in Power BI tips. Yeah, I think I had like a typo or something. Somebody already saw it and fix it for me. And then we can just go and maybe we can have a look as well. So here for this one, we also have to specify the measures, right, that we want this calculation group to work on. Here in Tabular Editor 2, we get a small limitation, but it's not so big. Is that I cannot select measures from more than one table at the same time. But the way that I build this calculation group makes that this is not really an issue, and I'll show you why. So we go to scripting, and then we'll paste the new script. Yeah. And here this already has all the pop-ups, so I could save it as well as a quick action. And I can, well, just write from here. Here it asks you again, what's the name of a calculation group that you would like? Okay, and this is the column. Okay. Now here's the thing. For a Johnny script, we only work on one measure, so you just type it inside the code. It's no big deal. But for TimeIntelligence, you might want this to work with many measures, some of which might not be yet in your model, which is problematic because you see we have the value expression and the format string expression for each calculation item. So if you have like 8, then times 2, that's 16 places in which you would have to go and say, oh, and also do it if it's with this measure, also with this measure. And, I didn't like that. So what I did is create a calculated table which has the names of the measures that I want to be affected by the calculation group. Okay, so, and here asks you what's the name that you would like for that table. This is fine. And now here I use the pop-ups to ask questions about your model. Yeah. And then, okay, where's your fact table? Sales is my fact table. And what's the main date column, which is the date that says, okay, we have data for that date. Yeah. So it would be like the order, where is it? No, this date key. Yeah. Okay. Where's your date table? This is called date. And what's the date column of your date table, which is
That's
date.
nice.
Yeah. And now for the year column, also, because it creates like some dynamic label thing that we might not have time to go into that today, but it does create it for you as well. So here you see we got here the TimeIntelligence calc group, which is already large. It's more than 8 calculation items. But just to see a little bit how it is built, you see what I use to control the script is here, selected measure name in TimeIntelligence affected measures table on the column measure. Yeah, so I have it. And here, if we see the expression of this, you see it's just a table with the names. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So actually, we can just do it right now. If I want the dummy measure to be included as well in this, it's just so easy as coming here and writing dummy. Yeah? So the calculation group will work also on the dummy measure. In Tabular Editor 3, you can just select measures from different tables. Okay, so we save this back. And let's see. Oh, no, I'm not getting the yellow ribbon thing. Now I'm getting it.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, where is it? Okay, the other one is already hidden, but it's there. Yeah? So here you see I have, and the dummy is there. Very good. So
That's awesome.
what we can do now, yeah, you go, yeah, because otherwise it's a lot of work to do all these time intelligence calculations. We can just go ahead and put it like this. It's total disaster, I guess, but you have everything. Of course, it doesn't make sense if you don't filter by a year. So we can go ahead and put, where is it? Date, year. Oh, this is terrible. List. There's not so much data. I think you can just only use like 2008 or so. Alrighty. So you see, you have all this. It's almost no effort, and you can use them in many other ways. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it is convenient. Yeah. Also, I don't know. With just these two calculation groups, you can go very far. Also, let's try. I mean, I have a post also in building arbitrary tables.
Oh yeah.
So let's imagine that for margin, you want to see just current year, previous year, but for sales amount, you want more detail and you want to see the year-over-year percent and stuff like this. Let's see if we can manage to do that. This is already a bit of, I don't know if I would have time for that. For that, we'll use yet another script. Let's see if I can find it here in advance. And where is it? Where is it? And I measure color groups. Colors. I think. I think it's this one. Measuring calc item. Yeah.
Excellent.
So this one, select the calculation items and the measures for which the calculation should be shown. Yeah. So this is a bit more tricky, but let's say we want for, we said margin, we want to show only current year and previous year. Yeah. Current year. Oh, okay, this is not working in Tabular Editor too. I apologize for that because it's not supported apparently. Okay.
One of the downsides of TE2 is it can do 90% of what you need to do, but there's a few bells and whistles that TE3 has now.
Okay, well, then we give some credit also to TE3. Let me just run
there
this
you go.
very quickly. Yeah. Okay, I need to connect that to the model. Okay.
While you're doing that, I'll just give the people in the audience a quick 2 seconds. Like I'd say like since Tabular Editor 3 came out a little over a year ago, it's had a lot of nice to haves, only a couple need to haves. But I will say since its release of the DAX debugger, pseudo debugger tool that it has, like that thing alone really is the cost of admission if you haven't explored it or used it yet. I also had a video with Daniel a couple weeks ago where he actually walked through a tutorial of that. But like that really, that should be the number one thing that should convince you if you're using Tabular Editor at all to switch to 3 and just pay that a few dollars a month. It is such a game-changing tool to debug DAX with that. And I've already used it multiple times with clients where they have a 80-line measure code for like a really complex calculated column, throw it then into the debugger and immediately just get a breakdown of like all of the iterators and filters and everything else. It's really nice.
So here I have no problem. I can select them simultaneously and run the script. Yep. And now provide a name for your dynamic measure calculation group for arbitrary to row header. I don't know, just like calc. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. And a name dummy 2. Okay. So here, measure calc already created a calculated calculation item, which you see say if you're using this dummy measure, then checks what's the calculation, the current calculation item of the TimeIntelligence calculation group. Yeah.
Yep.
And then only if this is like previous year or current year, it will show you the measure margin, which is the one you wanted. Otherwise, it will show blank. So it will not be shown. Yeah. Actually, there is something here that it was not very, I mean, it's like, how does it know where the TimeIntelligence calculation group is? Yeah. The thing is that I added an annotation in the TimeIntelligence calculation group script. Yeah, so it creates the calculation group and puts an annotation. So when I use another script that refers to the calculation group, to the TimeIntelligence calculation group, it searches the whole model for that annotation. And if it finds it, it's just like, okay, here it is, and continues. So it doesn't need to ask the user, like, where is it? Where is it? No, no, it finds it already. Because even if it used another name, the annotation would still be there. So this is also a convenient thing to do. Yeah, and now the next thing is like, okay, this is for one. But now I say for sales, I want more detail. So I want like, we said current year, but I want also the other two, the year over year and year over year percent and sales. And then I run the script again. And you see now it didn't ask me anything. Beautiful, right? But the item is here. Also, this one has already an annotation. And then when you run the script, it's like, oh, did you already create one of them? Like, yes, there it is. And then it just needs to add the calculation item. And see, let's see if this actually works though. So we say back to the model and we refresh here as well. And now we would use the metrics. And then, where is it? Measure calc. So here for rows, columns, sorry. And of course, we need to use the other one, the TimeIntelligence column as the second level. Okay. Now we need to drill down, which is a little bit odd. Oh, and then we need to measure as well. Sorry, dummy measure 2 into values. There it is. And okay, this is too small, but it's there. Global. So you see for margin, we only have current year and previous year, but for sales, we have current year, previous year, year over year, year over year percent. And I think there is something going on with the, I think because of the measures, I didn't fix the measures, I didn't put the percent. So I think there's something going on with format strings, but this is something that can be solved. I mean, probably, I think it's all my fault because I didn't have the correct format strings and the measures. But margin didn't set anything there. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I need to fix the script. But you get pretty close already.
Yep. So yeah, no worries.
Margin, it would be pretty much the same thing, and just at the end, just put here that should have the margin format string.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of selected measure, you should have selected measure format string. But that's pretty much the same. Yeah, we can just go ahead and do it then. So here we'll put the currency one. Where is it done? I think format string, no, there is none. Okay, so if I put like the currency, then I can copy this into the margin just to see if this works. Format string, okay. This is the format string A1, and here selected measure format string. Alrighty. Let's see if at least for this works. Yeah, we got that. And yeah, this already has the right one. So we should do the same thing for the sales. But that's pretty much on point. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is there anything people are asking, or I don't know?
A lot of people are just been commenting like the excitement, the nices, wanting to try these out, and the bananas comment as well. I will mention to the audience just because it sounds like there is a lot of excitement. There might be some questions behind that excitement. So if you actually do have any specifics that you want them to go through, more towards a general Q&A, drop them in here now. But otherwise, like, I think a lot of this is great. It's, many of the automations were, even with like the time intelligence, it's something that would take so much extra time to be able to create. And again, like my favorite thing is the error checking. I really like I think for that, especially because it allows for continued deployment, but potential flags that can be done. And if you pair that, as you mentioned, even with Resorad's thing, you can create kind of a nice checks and balances system online and a series of alerts that can let you know when things might start to get a little bit messy with the data quality. Because like data quality checks are a little bit different from model, but like they can kind of one can lead to the other, because depending on the data structure as well, that also will usually lead to certain modeling practices. So I think a lot of this is really good for time saving. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, because even if you're careful, it's like, oh yeah, but I put it remove duplicates there because, but when you put remove duplicates, you have no control in which duplicate are you actually keeping.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If you have duplicates, you should go and check it. I mean, you need the other brand saying, keep duplicates, show them to me. I want to check what is going on. Because otherwise it's just like, oh, it's fine, but maybe you're doing it all wrong. And that's one of the fears of Alberto Ferrari, like people trusting things that are wrong. I mean, you have to be very careful. Yeah,
I would say like there are three like good cornerstones with a lot of the data quality. Is the number one is, of course, like just the best practices analyzer really is a useful tool as you're building it out. Another really good one that I love, that I think fits well in the box with the stuff that you've shown today, is MK Feldman's Power BI Cleaner. That
I love this one.
I mean it's from my understanding still, and I say this every time, it is the only tool that I am aware of that does a really good scrub to fully inform you if a column is completely unused, because Tabular Editor, and I still believe this is a limitation, it might tell you a column is unused, but if that column exists in your model and the only place that it is being used is in the filters pane as a filter for like a visual, which I've done before, like sometimes you have a flag column that is not actually used in a measure at all, but it's just in a filter, it will still flag it as you can delete this in Tabular Editor. Like, because it does
Bravo as well. Yeah.
Correct, because it has no way, due to the limitation of the connection, to actually know what is in the filters pane. I believe that's an exposure issue where Microsoft does not make that visible. Whereas with MK, because it extracts all the data, the metadata from basically unzips it and pulls the data in. That's the only one that checks for that. Yeah. So it's truly the only safe extraction tool. But I think between all of these different things, you have like a nice little tool stack to be able to do a lot of cleaning and optimizing of a model. And then certainly for this one, going forward, as the data changes in the future, it allows you to create those flags and everything. So I like continually finding more ways to have checks and balances, for modeling and design.
Yeah, I just used it very recently, but for a very big project, and I was like, oh my God, this saves me so much work. And also something that I didn't use for real before, but I started like looking into it, is the Birdie Pack Analyzer. It's there, and it's like, oh my God, this stupid column I created there because I don't know why I did it, and it's like taking so much space. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like learning a lot every day.
And it's built into Bravo now too, which is really nice.
It's built everywhere. Yeah, you have it in V3, DAX Studio, it's all over the place. Yeah.
There's like a mini version of the Birdie Pack Analyzer in MK's Power BI Cleaner too. It shows you not all of the attributes, but it does show you size for every unused column that you have in her report. When it spits it out, you get a conditionally formatted bar in the column, so you can actually sort by size and immediately see, oh yeah, this is 80% of my model size is coming from this one
right there,
row ID column on a 45 million row fact table.
Yeah, stuff like this.
Yep. So very cool. But I've appreciated this. I like the sessions where I can learn, and and all of the stuff that you showed for the scripts, those are all available in your GitHub, right?
Yeah, or even, I mean, the one from Johnny Winter is in his GitHub, but the link is from, you can jump there from my blog. And otherwise, I mean, I have them both. I have it on my GitHub because I just want to write the blog post right after doing the script. And then I send it there as well, so people can access
Excellent.
It if they first discover it.
Yep, and for the people in the chat, I dropped his GitHub link in there. Also down in the description below this video are all the links to contact Bernat and his GitHub and everything else. So if somebody has a question for you on anything related to calculation groups and stuff, like what's the best way to contact you on like social media?
Twitter.
Twitter?
I love Twitter.
Okay, so yeah.
Otherwise, LinkedIn is also fine, but most of the time I'm on Twitter.
Perfect. Then yeah, I'll reach out to him on Twitter if you have any questions or just want to talk Tabular Editor, Visual Studio, or anything else. But yeah, this has been very informative. I really appreciate you coming on today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I loved it.
Absolutely. And everyone, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And yeah, it looks like just a lot of people are all very appreciative and happy of these stuff. It's up to the bar of like, you know what, there's some deep level stuff that I have to go learn, but this is stuff that I really want to go learn now. So
great.
I'll throw just a couple up here just to finish it off. A couple of rounds of applause, and otherwise just yeah, great session.
Okay.
And Donald loved it as well. So
hey, there you go.
Yeah. Cheers, and enjoy the rest of your Friday night, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, same.
All right, ciao.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to help support this channel, take a look at our channel memberships as well. And last but not least, please consider sharing this video on social media to help pass on this awesome content and to help the channel grow. So until next time.